expert. Stafford was extremely successful on this trip, completely broke the record after many days of famine. Opening, he enjoys the meat skewers, grilled hedgehog fragrant, and then continue to eat the stew from the bird's nest. I'm in a fancy room. Living life is no different than a vacation. The Sonoran Desert in Arizona is famous for its heat, dry and unpleasant. More than 400 people pass through this area every year. In this episode, he decided to challenge himself and start the journey by helicopter to the destination. You take off your clothes, do not bring survival tools, and I don't even wear a hat. Your goal is to live as if on vacation. Within 10 days, I brought a piece of jewelry where you learn survival skills and get good wishes. Daytime temperature can be up to 40 degrees Celsius, so finding fresh water is really important. Under the scorching sun, you've only been gone for 2 minutes, but the sweat flowed like rain. Keep moving. I found a tamarind that can replenish some water. Helps relieve thirst. The journey is long and dry. The challenge is still a lot. After a few hours of walking the unbearable heat, he went to a shaded area to rest. Next to it I found a tree. It can be used as a material to make clothes. After simple processing, I made an apron out of this tree. When the sun goes down, you start a fire before dark. Use a dry wood to make a fire. By friction method. After a few tests, the fire broke out. Next, you eat cactus to replenish energy and water. Help the body continue to function. I started living like this. It's so different compared to the image that we know of Ed Stafford. I woke up the next morning, take a look around, and continue our water search plan. Nearby, he discovered a trace of a human, left over from hundreds of years ago. Around the area, I saw a green tree growing on the mountain slopes and the natural sands that the water creates. It's a great place to find fresh water. I checked every single place. Went through the dense bushes but found nothing. Finally, you go to a place where there's a lot of insects flying around. I hope to find water. I found the smell of small, clean water. It smells a little strange though. It also solved the thirst. After drinking water, I can't help but show my joy. In the hot sun, skincare is also important. I used some stones to make a mask, mixed with saliva and mineral powder to protect the skin from sun damage. After a hard day's work, my stomach is screaming from hunger. I decided to look for food and can only choose cactus. Because the cactus is quite tall, he used a stick of wood to make a harvesting tool. And then I'm done with dinner. Enjoy the delicious cactus. Soft and sweet, this surprised me. I'm going to collect 10 more cacti. Separate the meat and dry it. Preserve for the next days. I had enough food for the whole week. To the third day. Compared to the first day, it's cloudy and there may be rain. I don't want to be surprised when it rains in the morning. So you need to quickly build a shelter. I'm going to collect 10 materials nearby. To build a solid roof, you use thick green leaves to cover. The roof is clean. It's waterproof. After a hard day of work, I've finished a small tent that fits. Sit in there. I see that there are stray birds around, wandering around, and I decided to make a trap. When it gets dark, I'm ready to rest. But suddenly it's raining. I'm feeling pretty scared in the tent right now. On the fourth day, it was still cloudy. Fortunately, there was only a small amount of rain. Though, I still see some fresh water in the cavities. There was no sign of water. You keep using a mop as a straw to get water after drinking. I used ice to cover it up and keep the water for next time. He kept moving to the area near the water. Check out the trap I set. Continue to the big flat rock to set some traps. Traditional pressure. As long as there's a small animal that can't control it, they will be trapped immediately. Time passed until the 6th day. The new discovery was that the rock that covered the crater had been moved. It seems that the organism targets a fairly large protein source. When you check the traps, everything is empty. Even the trap is activated but doesn't catch anything. After investigating around, and covering traces of the residence of ancient primitive people. In fact, it's a pure energy graph. Meet a pair of rare objects and a beautiful picture of life. Under the inspiration of ancient art, the lost will has been reawakened. Use of grinding stones to chronology. The result is a rabbit. This is the real evidence for protein desire. Continue to bring back. A large rock prepared to be used as a trap in the pit. Use the 7-stroke principle. He even used his hands to experiment. The trap to the 9th day. Whether you eat protein or not depends on the. This time the trap test was lucky. There's a stinky animal in there. Carefully take out and handle. The heart is fluttering. The gripper uses stone as a cutting tool. Quickly peels off its outer layer. Then, he skewered it on a stick and set it on fire to cook. However, I didn't forget to collect 10 more ingredients. I picked some wild beans nearby. Run back and break them. Combined with water, form a powder to make food reserves. Finally, I put it on the grill and bake it for 30 minutes. After a long waiting, the food from the wild is done. When you take a bite, you feel crispy and delicious. Authentic barbecue with great taste, combined with wrapper from local ingredients. It's a really hearty meal. After dinner it started to drizzle. Help you wash away sweat and dirt. I hurried to find shelter in the cave. Look at the surroundings and think about the big things in life. On the 10th day, the time for parting has come. You arrive at the rendezvous point with an excited face. A helicopter appeared. Take me out of this land. End of the challenge. The land you've been through is the remote mountains of Venezuela. One of the oldest mountains in the world, where nature is majestic but full of danger, just like in a movie. In this challenge, you came here without bringing food, survival equipment or any kind of support. Bring only a healthy body to challenge ourselves. After reaching the top of the mountain at an altitude of 1,700 meters. Coming down from the plane, you start your journey along the challenging road, while the bare feet endure. While walking, I suddenly discovered a dangerous snake, just a few feet from you. Makes me more alert than ever. When things start to run out, the biggest problem we face is lack of fresh water. The good news is that there are many large coconuts nearby. It can be used to quench thirst. The rules remain the same. Do not bring food. Do not bring survival equipment. Only radio to call emergency rescue. You start looking for resources that you can use near this area. I see a lot of things like plastic bottles, steel wire and other kinds of lanyards around. From a survival perspective, I feel so good. He collected 10 plastic bottles, some pieces of wire mesh and ropes. Then drink a coconut to quench your thirst. Its taste is quite delicious and natural. He kept 5 to save it. Time goes by. I don't worry about the cold anymore. Use some leaves as a bed. The camp's problem has been solved. I lay in bed and felt very comfortable. The next day I woke up with a pale face. I don't know if it's from the air or from fatigue. I was so tired that I just wanted to stay in the camp, without moving. I don't know when. His knee is infected and red. Without treatment, it can be life-threatening. You can't play with life. I hurried to call the medical team and open the ambulance. You take an antibiotic pill. If the drug doesn't work, I'll have no choice but to wait. Because there is no water, you have to use leaves to solve your needs. Temporarily eat some leaves and hold on. By day 3, his condition had improved. No longer tormented by pain, he decided to start hunting again. However, this tree can only survive for 2 more days. I had to try to find the papaya nearby, but they're not ripe. Just like eating leaves, I realized that the lack of water again makes it difficult. I decided to start the fire first. Take the steel nails, put it in a glass jar, and shake it hard to create friction. After several times shaking him, using the bottom as a fire engine, with a little dry leaves, you've succeeded in starting a fire. And this is the easiest I can do. As the tide recedes, you're fast out to sea, trying to collect 11 little bits of seafood for nutritional supplements. After a round of searching, I picked up some and brought it back to camp. He boiled seawater in a steel can and cooked it in half an hour. The smell of the food filled up. Delicious seafood. Wednesday morning in the morning, I went out to sea hunting again. Not too far away, he found a fish net left behind. I quickly collected 10 and brought it back. I don't know if it can be used later. I keep looking and discovered a narrow bay. I decided to try to go a little deeper. Take a few 10 steps. I suddenly said, "Oh Mom." When you see an unexpected sight, it's a mysterious cave. Attract many sea cucumbers gathered around. I feel so lucky. There is still enough time to survive. You start collecting sea cucumbers, you get rid of the outer shell. High-grade materials do not need to be further processed. Sea cucumbers taste almost like egg yolks, very rich in nutrition, and very good for health. He looked at the red shoots on the other side of the lake, where there might be fresh water. It's the only place you can find clean water. Steady, you go back to running and planning. To draw up a blueprint, I'm looking for bamboo as a material, even if there's no specific pattern, but I decided to try. Divide bamboo into equal parts and use fire to cut them apart. I collected 10 Leo ropes to make a rope and tie the pieces together, and then we put a grid on the surface for further reinforcement. To increase stability, he put some foam in. Bring your tools and prepare to go. Even if it's not your fort, but with the help of a homemade boat. I quickly reached the shore. Your thirst for water makes you look up. But when you go for a while, I was shocked to see the dry land. There's not a drop of fresh water. I wonder if We've come a long way without results. However, leaving your hands behind is not your style. Along the coast, I found a kind of seafood that looks transparent. Without hesitation, I tried it. Its taste is really great. It's like sweet black bean tea. I kept catching some more seafood. My appetite makes me can't stop screaming. Back to the map. I noticed to opposite sides of the river, there seems to be water. I think this could be a sign of rainwater. With hope, he began to climb along the rocky shore and climb to the high. After a while, you reach a flat ground and discovered a small puddle of water. Even though the water in Vaughn is slightly cloudy, but I still decided, using a plastic bottle to store water. And when we get back to camp, he cut the bottom of the bottle to make a filter and build a simple filter of sand and charcoal. Water after boiling becomes fresh. It's refreshing to take a sip. All the elements necessary for life are present. Has been prepared. Next, to try out a wild meal. He started collecting 10 plastic bottles around him. Cut off the bottle mouth and punch. Form simple fishing equipment. More than 10 at a time. Drop it into the water and wait for the fish to catch it. You use wires and branches to build a big fishing hook. More small balls found as floats. Take the sea clams as bait and put them on the hook to increase the chances of catching fish. I made 6 more sets of the same equipment to ensure the ability to successfully fish. After completion, you keep improving the tattered net and put them in the water. When the night falls, he took the torch to check the trap, but unfortunately I didn't catch anything. Fast forward to the 9th day. The trap is empty. Waiting another day doesn't make sense. He's checking the plastic bottles. I caught some small fish that got lost. To enrich the wild food, you keep looking for a material favored by the locals. Barefoot climbing the sharp cliffs. Shelter of birds' nests. Fortunately, I found a nest. It's formed from the saliva of birds. Very expensive value. Bring back to cook in an iron pot with water too. Processed into nutritious food. I found another one called me. Rich in nutrition and good for internal organs. In just half an hour, have completed a nutritious breakfast. Try a small piece. Medium maturity melts right in the mouth. It tastes almost like doodles. Another sip of soup. It's the most delicious meal on this wild island adventure. Time passed until the 10th day. It is also time to break up. Wait not long. The small boat came to pick it up. Mark that the challenge has been successfully completed. Stafford had a successful trip. Not just break the challenge BA days, survive in harsh conditions, but also have dinner with rare chicken. You make the tools yourself and live in an area of several hundred square meters with more comfortable conditions than expected. Namibia, arid region in South Africa. Famous. It's one of the driest places on Earth. That's where this survival challenge is. I was brought here in a small plane and then walked deep into the desert. I quickly took off my shirt and start looking for the essentials to survive. No food or support. To enjoy life as a holiday, I started looking for resources around me, despite walking barefoot on rocky roads. It makes me feel unsafe, but you keep going. More. It's also at risk of being attacked by wild animals. Without any tools in hand. I kept walking for 3 hours, and we're lucky to find an area with a lot of big rocks. You stop, take a break, and check out the nearby rock caves. Suddenly, I found some ingredients. It can be used to make shoes, even though it can't be eaten, but they're very useful as tools. To soften raw, he opened the faucet and wet them. Then bask in the sun for 30 minutes. While waiting, you keep collecting 10 resources around you. When digging out a medium-sized potato, after peeling, the meat inside is removed. Press hard for fresh water to flow out. It smells like sewage. Remember the beginning. He's looking for a small stone, pounding to make cutting tool. Small part cutting, easy tool making. After a long time, although the skin is very hard, it can eventually be cut. You keep doing it until it gets dark. Just finish the job. The next day, you wake up early. Prepare for the search for water. Because this place is strange, look for signs on the ground and notice that there was a clear trace. Keep going. I've discovered a strange phenomenon. There are always birds fly out from the same position. When I got closer, I found out that this is the water I am looking for and rushed to drink urgently. With the experience of going everywhere, you've got different survival skills. Under the sun, he decided to move the camp closer to the water. Meanwhile, he discovered a bush. It can be used as a material to make fire. He climbed to a high position to survey the terrain and discovered a cave that's fit for shelter. Not far away, it's the traces that the people who came before left. I'm sure this is an ideal place to camp. After smoothing the tree branches, you start the important work of making fire. Due to the arid climate, it's pretty easy to make a fire with friction, and it only takes a little bit. The fire's already started to burn. Everything seems to be going very well. But maybe there is no shortage of difficulties on this journey. When rearranging luggage, suddenly I found a wild fruit. I looked up at the tree and saw the fruit growing on its branches. And don't hesitate to eat. They provide water and vitamins. He ate while the heat outside increased. The ground temperature is also constantly rising. I finally finished the last part of handmade shoes. The light shining brightly tightened. Don't worry about getting caught in the grass. Go to the land where there are traces. Time goes by every second of every minute. Night without finding anything. A face full of 7 hopes. By day 3, the situation was not so good. Feeling headaches and discomfort. Maybe it's unclean drinking water. However, there is currently no equipment to heat the water. I have to drink temporarily. Now the survival factor is missing a good meal. Find a weed that can be eaten. Outside, blue gut white as fiber. Use only hand to separate the outer shell. It's keeping the white fiber and making the rope. Using the 7-stroke principle, prepare a trap to hunting animals once the balance is broken. The prey will be squeezed. While continuing to look for young animals, I caught a lizard and enjoy immediately. The taste is extremely ineffable. And then he went back to the rat's nest to find a way. He pulled the big rock into a big trap. Try reducing the size of the entrance to increase the likelihood of catching prey. When the night comes, I hope that your hard work will be rewarded. Time to go on Wednesday. Hungry and tired, it's time to check in. The results are near. His face showed the tension. But when he got close to the baby rabbit, he caught a trap. Take advantage of the opportunity to rescue the prey. You're good at cutting meat. Peel out and get meat to eat. Natural frogs are baked on fire to ripening. It's hot and spicy. Crispy outside, soft inside, tastes very suitable. Finish the appetizer. I skewered the meat on a stick and grilled it on low heat in about 49 minutes. Aroma gradually radiate. It feels like enjoying a great breakfast. Rich gravy. Not too salty with real baking flavor. However, the protein content can be several times higher than beef. Help to maintain long life. And then he started working with primitive tools. Search for materials around. I found an animal's leg, even if you can't eat. But the outer shell can be used as a good material to make tools. Clean the outer layer, using reprocessing fire to regenerate. Take the leg bones and separate them into small fibers. Use saliva to soften and make it easy to make. These fibers are much stronger than vegetable cords. After an hour, you create a deadly bow. To the 5th day, he checked around the campsite. Detect traces of animals 20 meters away. Need to quickly prepare hunting tools. Back into the trap, but nothing stuck. It seems that the rabbit knows the danger. He kept looking for materials. Discovered a perfect stick to make a weapon. While returning, I found traces of animals. But look around and see nothing. I went back to the barn to scrape the bark. Then sharpen the head and steam on the fire. After 3 steps there was a solid wooden arrow. After grinding and steam on fire, the arrow became as hard as stone. To a large open field testing new weapons. The force was so strong that it was not inferior to the storm. You're more confident with your weapon in your hand. Expand the scope of survival to a high zone overlooking the plain. Just for a short time. It's possible to conquer the entire region. To the 6th day. Bring your hunting gear. I'm looking for material. When the name box is missing. He used a tree's branches as tools and dug a hole. And then find a big tree to use as a name box. I put the tree in the hole and set it on fire. 7 for 9 times fire out. He knocked the raw tree hard on the ground. The bark part is separated easily. He used the bark to clean and wrap it in leather. A box of finished arrows. I feel very happy wearing it. Then you put out the fire. He carried his weapon and continued his hunting journey. To an area near a pond. I checked the traps I set. 1 found a few birds. Collect 10 tree branches to form a natural trap. Because of the severe weather, I decided to stop and camp here. If a danger appears, I'll start combat mode. Not long after the crime, 6 range appeared some birds. He quickly prepared an arrow, but it's 20 centimeters off. To the 7th day, after a night of observation, I eat some fruit to replenish my energy. Look at the terrain around you. Think of a plan. Waiting for dark when the birds are asleep. He quickly shot a precise arrow. There's no power at all. You run closer. A powerful blow that ended the bird's suffering. A bonfire is kindled over roasted bird meat. You eat a piece and it tastes great. Mexican bird meat has a rich flavor. It's 100 times more protein than beef. Next 2 days, I live my life like a dream. Enjoy the peaceful time. Fast forward to the 10th day. It's time to break up. I brought my luggage and hunting gear to end the journey. Finally, the challenge was completed smoothly.